It's Lil Baby.
Let's make this legendary.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to episode 15 of Conversations with Chai. I am your host, Lil Baby Ram, aka Ihram. With me, I have fresh off of performing inside Times Square. I have my boy Sheikh.
Hey, let's get it.
Yo, appreciate you doing this, V. Yo, my guy. Dude, I'm like so excited because we're from like, when I always talk about like, it's cool seeing like people where I'm from and the stories that I'm from go certain places. I mean that generally as in like South Asians and who we are as like a whole people. Mm-hmm. But for you, it's like, we grew up right around the same block too. Absolutely. So it's like insane to see you do what you do. And I just want to say like, how you've been doing and what you've been doing, so fire.
Thank you, bro.
So fire. Talk to me, you performed at Times Square, and like I thought the content that you put around that was so fire. And I was telling you this outside. Mm-hmm. I was like, for you to do like, 1 year ago, I was in Times Square saying, hey, I'm gonna be on this billboard and I'm gonna be a star. And then you putting out a year later, you at Times Square performing. How did that feel?
Yeah, so I feel it, and I was telling you this earlier, but I feel like I set myself up for that moment, right? When I was getting interviewed by Tage, who's both of our buddies. And anything I was saying in that interview was the purpose of it was to eventually go back to that video, piece it up, and show people that like it's possible. So I mean, that was cool though. Performing at Times Square in front of like, I don't know, it was like 15,000 people. I mean, that was crazy, man. Because if you put me in front of 5 people, I'll be nervous. But if you put me in front of like a lot of people, I feel like the adrenaline kicks in and it's just like crazy. So definitely the best moment of my life so far.
Yeah. How do you realign that in your head career-wise, right? Because like at one point, like you're looking at, performing at Times Square as like a huge deal, right? Like how do you then reassess like what is like the next goal or the next mountain to climb?
I don't know, man. Like I don't like look at me performing at Times Square like, I don't know. That's like a big win for me in my heart. But like in terms of like where I want to go in my dreams, like they're way too, like if I were to speak out my dreams, I'd sound pretty much crazy.
But this is tough for me because I say the same thing. Yeah. I say the same thing. I can't like really say out loud like what I'm thinking because it sounds crazy, right? But do you think that there's like a disservice? Like why do we not feel comfortable in doing that?
Because we set ourselves up when we first started our journey. We set ourselves up for like the mountaintop. So then when we're halfway through the mountain, people are like, "Why aren't you grateful yet?" And we are grateful, but it's like, I kind of knew this was gonna happen, but this wasn't my final goal, right? Obviously, you want to like take a step back and be like I've achieved a good amount of things and all this stuff, but I mean, this was never the final goal, right? There's always so much more to achieve, and I don't know, I'm never satisfied, bro.
I think that is that for people who are currently like you're describing climbing the mountaintop, like that is a very, very tough thing to gauge mentally, right? Because one part of you wants to continuously like keep shooting, because the people who make it to the top of the mountaintop, they're the ones who just kept shooting.
Absolutely.
Right? But it's tough for you to be not there yet, still talking and moving like I'm going to be at the top of the mountaintop, because people are looking at you like, bro, like why? Like, why aren't you just happy with this,
exactly.
Right? Like I would be, because they're looking at themselves and saying, if I was you, Sheikh, I just did Times Square, yay, right? Yeah, but for you who dreams and thinks bigger things of yourself, it's almost like an insult to celebrate it, because you're like, wait, this isn't like even like 10% of what I've dreamed.
No, it's not even like 2-3%, and I think we're on the same wavelength in terms of like our dreams are so high that these are just steps of the process. And I mean, on my vision board today, usually when anyone's in my basement's like my man cave. I have my vision board and I always take it down because I write my dreams on there, and I'm afraid that like if my friends see that, they'll, I don't know. I mean, not that I care, but they would be like, just feel like my dreams are too big. So one of my dreams on there, and I'll say this, is like biggest South Asian entertainer in the world. That's one of them. Like, if I'm performing in front of 15,000 people in Times Square, like I'm on the right trajectory, but like there's so much more that I have to like climb for that, you know. So
it's super tough, right? Because you're talking about like, yo, like taking stairs in the part of your journey and being happy with like that result, but understanding like, yo, I see the top of this. And I see myself at the top of this. Because when people ask, like, how are you even able to do this to the level that you're able to do it to? It's because to you, it's not that big of a fucking deal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If it's like that, I hate stupid cliches, but it's like that cliche. It's like, yo, when you shoot for the like moon, you land among like stars, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, like that's not even what I was shooting at. This is just like not even a real launching point.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, and that's scary. That's scary to say and admit to people, because you were talking about like if your friend saw your vision board. I think if I don't really keep an active vision board, I think I keep a mental one.
Yeah.
I think if my friend saw my mental vision board, like somebody would call like a psychiatric ward because they'd be like, bro, what the fuck is going on in your head? Like, how can you even imagine that? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, do you think that you actively dream the dream, or do you think it's just a vision that came to you or comes to you?
Yeah, like as a kid, bro, I was like the most restless kid ever. So I was like, I want to do something. I want to become something. I was like 12, 13, like going up to my mom, like, I don't want to do school. Like going to my sister, like, I just want to make videos and I want to be like the biggest whatever. Like, I want to be a superstar, you know? So that's what I used to tell them. I was so restless. So when I finally got the opportunity I got into singing, God knows how, because I wasn't a singer. I was a drummer. I drummed my whole life. And then, can I tell you that story real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we both went to Rutgers. And my freshman year, I was commuting. So I was 10 minutes away from Rutgers. And all my friends were living in dorms, and they had, you know, they were making new friends. Meanwhile, I'm on like Livingston campus in what is it, Piscataway, New Jersey, on like a bench, just thinking to myself, like, no friends for the first semester. And I'm like, yo, what do I do? So I ended up going to an involvement fair. I joined an a cappella group, and that's a whole nother thing. Like, I was never a singer. Like, I just liked making videos. That was my passion. But I was like, whatever. I don't want to curse because my mom and dad are watching this, but yeah. So I tried out for the a cappella group, couldn't sing for beep, and God knows for what reason they selected me in the a cappella group. And if they didn't select me, and I still thank them to this day, I wouldn't have a medium to entertain people, you know. So that's like huge for me. So I still thank them to this day, the people who were in charge of that, and where were we going with this?
How we were talking about like essentially like, yo, how did you get into singing, right? But like, hey, did you have the vision before, right? Because you were talking about like,
Right.
I wanted to entertain people even at a young age, right? And I think that's like a crazy thing to admit. And I don't admit this like publicly, but I will since we're sharing. It's crazy to think about like, yo, I've done in my living room, and this is definitely like a sign that something is wrong with you mentally. Yeah. I've definitely done in my living room like a award acceptance speech, like it's
like Shah Rukh Khan type,
like something. I never knew for what, right? And I never knew for what, and that's how I think like start, right? Like this, like, because I was the same way, like super restless. Like I always like was consistently trying to do something, right? Like never was it like, yo, the thing in front of my plate, right? Like that's what I was gonna do, right? It was always like, yo, I was also looking at this thing, and then I was also looking at this thing, and like to my credit, I tried a hand and failed at all of those, but like I still see like a vision. And of course, I think now, like in adulthood, and I'm sure even for you, you got into singing, right? The vision looked different, but now the vision is refined, and there's still a vision. Because when we're thinking about it when we're younger, we're thinking about it from a very, very wide lens.
100%.
Like,
but I was so lucky to have that. Like, I used to pray to God every single day when I was in high school and college that, like, give me, and I used to tell my mom, I want to entertain people. I just don't know how. I don't know what to do. Like, I would make review videos and reaction videos and like skits and stuff like that of the most random shit ever. So when I got singing, I was like, okay, at this point, like I'm just gonna just run with it. And I was so bad at singing, bro. I'm not saying I'm good now. I think I'm way better than I was before, but yeah, man, like I got that medium, which was like a turning point in my life to actually like indulge in something and be like, okay, I could work my ass off now because I have something that I could do, and I can make a mark with it. So I mean,
It's the most fire thing in the world. Like when you ask like God for that thing and then he just gives it to you and all you have to do is hold on and squeeze it like it's nothing else is left, right? Like my producer could say it, my best friend could say it, bro, like maybe 7 months ago, 6 months ago, everything in life is peaches, right? Job is good, happy with friends, right? And I'm there like restless. Like I'm looking at my roommate, like having a fight with him on a Friday morning. Like, bro, like what am I fucking doing? He's like, bro, like life is like, and I'm just like, dog, like I just want something that I could be absolutely fucking obsessed with.
Exactly.
Like I just want that thing. Like, yo, give it to me so I could be. Because at that point, I'm doing a business, I'm working a job, but I'm still like looking for like, what is it, right? And I like thank God like every day, right? Because it's like, yo, like when I got it, I knew exactly what it was, right? Like I told my therapist, I was like, yo, this one just feel different. Like I feel obsessed with it. Like,
but I feel like, at some point you'll get to the point where it's like another stage of your life where you're kind of stuck. And I feel like I'm at that stage where it's like I milked it as much as I could, and it's like, okay, now I'm back to praying to God and being like, God, give me a sign. Like, what do I got to do now? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you know, it's so funny that you say that. I was gonna ask you the same thing on the pod, so I'm just gonna use this as the time, right? Because I was listening to your music on the train ride over here, right? And I'm listening, and I'm all like, oh no, this shit is fire. Like the product is good, right? So I'm gonna ask you, and I'm like listening to it, and I'm all like, yo, I see a world where Shakes could be an Arjun or a Mickey Singh, right? Like I can absolutely see the music like there, right? And I'm seeing how you're navigating like the TikTok content. So I'm like, I see it. So like, let me ask you this, like, what are the steps? Let's game plan it. What are the steps between Shake right now in 2023 and whatever the cap is, Mickey Singh, Arjun, whoever we want to look at that cap for you, right? Like what are the steps in between that? Like, how are you looking at that? Because it is, at this point, bro, your talent got you here. So, but some of it now, strategy, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's like half talent, half strategy so far. But when we're talking about like what my cap is, like, first of all, I'm a huge fan of Mickey Singh's music. Well, my cap isn't Mickey Singh.
Of course not.
Like, my cap isn't Arjun, you know? Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, people always come to me and be like, yo, just put out music. Just put out music. Like, why are you putting out videos? Because, like, I get it. Like, no one gets it. No one gets it. Because going back to what's on my vision board, like, I'm trying to be the biggest South Asian entertainer. Music will come. I know I have like what it takes to put out a good product, you know, without any ego, in the most humble way possible. Like, I've worked so hard the last 4 or 5 years to like come up with a good sound. And people don't know that because I've put out like, I don't know, 4 songs. So people don't know that, but I'm in the studio like 3-4 times a week with my boys every single week, you know. But I don't know. Like, should I be putting out music? Probably, but I don't know. My dream is like way bigger.
I see the strategy because you're becoming now like outside of like, hey, Jake's the music. Like for example, like my sister, right? She always asks me like, who you having up this week, right? I say Shake, and she's like, oh, I don't think I've heard any music. And then I pull up your profile, and she goes, oh no, I've seen every single TikTok. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and so I see the strategy because you will be able to, if you're confident in the music, right? Whenever you go to convert that, right? Like you'll see that because I see that in podcasting all the time, right? When people have like, and again, it's only if the product is good. Because I see it in podcasting where it's like, yo, somebody developed a following doing something else, and then they try to launch a podcast. Now, here's the thing. When they usually convert, do they convert their audience? Yeah. But do they retain that audience? Only if they're solid. Exactly. So if you believe in the product, right? I think the way that you're managing it now makes sense, right? So like, what does the growth on that look like? Like, I don't really like track like numbers like that, but like, have you been seeing a growth in that?
Yeah, definitely. Like, if I were to just post covers when I first started and I was just posting covers and like singing in like different languages and stuff, that would do decently well. But first of all, like, can I look into that camera?
Absolutely.
For everyone that asks me why I don't put out a lot of music, it's because I love making videos. Get over it. Like, that's my passion, making videos and stuff. So music will come, but I want you guys to understand, like, it's not like I'm just doing this for like virality or clout. Like, I genuinely love making videos. Before singing 5 years ago, I was making videos and no one was watching them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was getting like 10 views on my YouTube videos. So like, I get it. I'll put out the music. That's the goal. But it takes time, and like, I'm trying to do everything. I'm not just trying to do one thing. Why do you think like on my Instagram and TikTok I post like public interview videos? You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up with like AVS and B4U and shit where they used to like interview people in the public or interview stars and stuff like that. Like, I enjoy doing that too. I don't want to, and because of that, I'm getting other opportunities to like on a bigger scale to like do stuff like that, you know, and that's what I want to do. So
no, I think that's absolutely valid, and I don't think that you should even feel like you have to justify that, right? Because like nobody, like only, again, like this is only our vision or your vision, right? Like it's your vision, right? Like however it tailors to you is exactly how you need to pursue it, right? Because like I think people are like, oh, if I had the career that you had, this is what I would do. But you're looking at it as like, yo, like that's not the career that I want, right? Like I don't want to just be, because we've seen that too. We've seen like artists, like South Asian artists that, like you said, like we're not, again, like we're not saying them, right? But like Mikasi and Arjun, those are specifically like artists, right? So if we're talking about like, hey, I want to touch different parts of the entertainment industry, right? Then that takes a little level of like widening your reach, right? Because if you're just making, because we see that all the time too, like DJs that only do mixes. Okay, then that is who you are. Now, will the opportunities maybe come as you raise to it? Maybe, but it's a lot less intentional, right? It ends up being like what it is.
100%. When Tage was interviewing me in Times Square and I was singing like a maniac on the red steps, I literally said, whatever happens from this point forward has something to do with me singing on the Times Square steps like a dumbass. You know what I'm saying? And it did. I was on Times Square performing in front of 15,000 people. The fact that 1 year ago I was grinding with my content, that has something to do with the opportunities I'm getting now. I could be in my basement recording a cover every single day like I did in 2020. But like there's a cap to that. There's a limit to that. And I want to push that limit, you know? I want to put out stuff that like people are too scared to do. And when I first started off, I had so much anxiety like doing public stuff. Like I'm still completely introverted, but the fact that I unlocked, it's like in 2K where you like unlock a different skill. Like I was able to unlock that skill that, okay, now I have the ability to make public content. So if I want to make a song, then I have the ability to like make public content to market that song. Or if there's a viral Bollywood song, like for example, Man Meri Jaan was like a huge viral, Indian song. So I was like, okay, I like the song. It's popping off right now. Let me just sing it to like 4 or 5 white people in public. Got like 12 million views on just Instagram. So like that ability to like have that as like a, if I need to, I could. And I enjoy doing that stuff, man. Like it might be uncomfortable for other people, but like I like doing this stuff.
Yo, I absolutely agree, right? Because like people think that like, yo, I can't add to my utility belt, right? Like, oh, that this is just my bag and I gotta stick to it. Like, because people have that, like, again, people have that limiting belief of themselves, right? Like people, again, I even hear it for myself, right? It's like, oh, like now you just the interview guy, right? I'm like, no, y'all don't really get the vision. Like I can add. There's of course. This bag is deeper and deeper, right? And I'm gonna make it deeper and deeper because the amount of things that I know I can potentially produce is way different than like, yo, me just having like some boring ass interview where I ask you the same fucking questions, right? I could have easily done that, right? And this would not have cost this much money, right? I could have easily gone to Sheikh after a Masala mixtape and been like, yo, this is this, and it's just like, yo, answer the questions, right? But that's not, and again, like that's fine, but that's not my vision for myself. Yo, Sheikh immediately understood that that's what it was. Nah, that's not what it was. Yo, like, but again, like what you're talking about, right? Like those careers and those developments are fine, but it's not what we're looking at for ourselves.
100%.
Right? Like you could have just been the cover guy. There's a lot of people like that.
I would have been the cover guy, you know what I'm saying? But like that was never my goal. My goal was just to entertain as many people as possible. Sometimes I'll tell my buddies like if a video fails, I'll be like, oh man, like I'll be hard on myself. And he's like, and the goal is that whatever talent you have, the most people are watching you. Why else are you doing it? I get it. You do it for the passion of it. And like, I recently watched this whole Rick Rubin thing. I don't know if you've watched his podcast. Yes. So like he's like, who cares about what other people think? Just go into your art with like the most authenticity as possible. And but at the end of the day, you want as many people to watch your product as possible. Why else do you do stuff? You want to just like, why are you posting this video then on YouTube? Make it unlisted and just send it to your friends. Like,
bro, absolutely. As soon as you put it out, right? Like you're trying to add to the lexicon of like whatever is out there. You're trying to add to the lexicon of music. I had the same exact tweet about somebody. I was like, yo, I'm sick and tired of all of y'all putting out the same content. I know y'all want to add to the discourse, so add to the discourse. Don't just give me the same, yo, who should pay first on a date? If I hear that one more time on a podcast, I don't give a fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not adding anything. And like, again, if you're going to add something, make it something, again, authentic and unique to you, right? Like, you didn't start just like singing. I hadn't even ever seen that, I don't think. Yeah, like what you started doing in terms of like singing to people in public, South Asian music.
Facts.
Right? Like, have I seen it in other things? Yeah, but South Asian music and somebody who actually sings. Because like people, again, one-dimensional, right? Like, hey, just make a cover every single week, right? But it's like, yo, like, why would I not unlock a different bag? That's what you guys did, and I mean, think about
it this way, bro. Like, I performed at Masala Mixtape last year, Masala Mixtape this year, Times Square. Like, these are like, if you're telling me 4 years ago someone who couldn't sing, I'd pat myself on the back and be like, good stuff. How many artists who are making covers are probably looking at me, because a majority of what I do is videos. I post 4 songs, and I know I have the ability to do covers and all that stuff, but I don't really do that. How many artists do you think are looking at me now and being like, bro, why am I not on that stage? Like, why is this guy on that stage? You know what I'm saying? But like,
yo, hey, some of y'all just not good enough. Straight up. He's not going to say that. But that's what it really got to come down to a degree, right? That some of y'all didn't just execute it as well.
It's about execution, you know what I'm saying? Like, they might be good enough. They might even be good enough. They might be better than me. They might be more talented than me. But I think the only thing I give myself credit for is, like, I don't think anyone will outwork me in this stuff because I want it that bad. You could probably relate to me in this.
No, but that's what I'm saying, right? Yeah. It's like when I say like you're not good enough, right? It's not like the talent, right? You're talking about just the music or just the thing, right? I'm talking about all of it. You just not like if you want to compete, right? Because it's back to what we were saying before, right? If you're putting it out, you're putting it out with a purpose, right? Like even if it's because otherwise, stay unlisted, right? You're putting it out with a purpose. So as soon as you enter that, you're entering into this entire arena. You're competing not just on the music. We're not having a singing contest between Sheikh and whoever the fuck and be like, oh, just both of you sing to me and I pick one, right? No. That's not what we're doing. We're competing in the entire entertainment lexicon. Like, it's the same thing when people say like, oh, like, why does he get to have X, Y, and Z on his pod on month 2?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like, oh, we had to go. Something is, why are they, it's not, yo, I don't have any relationships out here, right? Outside of the ones that I have built on my own, right? It's, again, y'all have to compete.
Yeah. And at least for me, and I think you're probably on the same wavelength, like, I have like tunnel vision, bro. Like I've for the most part, I'm not really looking at what anyone else is saying or what they're doing. Like if I had a choice today, I'd unfollow everyone on my Instagram just because like I'm not even on it unless I'm posting stuff. So I don't want to get sidetracked by like, and this happens to me a lot where I'll like see an artist and be like, yo, what am I doing, man? Like, why can't I showcase my real talent and be like, yo, I'm actually good at this stuff. Like, it's not that I only do public stuff. Like, I could really be good at this stuff. So that affects me. But I mean,
I think for me, it's a little bit different. It definitely is tunnel vision, right? Because I don't look at, like, back to what you're saying, I don't look at anybody as competition. Realistically, like, that's just not how, like, I'm wired like that, but I'm not really wired like that. Because again, the focus is just purely the vision. Because if I'm using y'all as competition, my cap ends up being whatever the fuck y'all are. And I can't put that much responsibility on y'all, right? 100%. Like my cap gotta be, I gotta push this fucking thing further, right? Because that has to be my cap. Because if I'm competing against y'all, it means that I think that we're about to land at the same exact area.
Exactly.
That's not really what I'm thinking about, right? So therefore, again, has to be tunnel vision, right? Has to be a pure focus of what is my vision for myself, right? Because that ends up being what we're building towards or what we're building. Right. That's
hard though. Like, do people ever, like, people come up to me and say, I can't tell you how many times I get the question like, yo, why don't you just do music? Like DJs, like everyone, man, is just like, yo, why don't you just do music, bro? And I'm just like, I get it, but like, you don't get it, you know?
You get that sense. Of course you're going to, like, here's the thing. You're going to have to feel that question forever, right? Yeah. But you have to feel the question about whether, even if you were just doing music, they're only saying that because you've achieved a certain level of success with it, right? And they see like, okay, like now there's like there's motion going on here, right? But if you told them 5-6 years ago that I'm just doing music, then they would look at you like you were crazy.
Yeah.
Right? So like it doesn't really matter, right? Because people's perceptions of that are only relevant and only accurate in moment. Because then as soon as a year fly and you're doing different shit, you're like, oh, why don't you just do this? Because a year from now, they're going to be like, oh, shit. Like, why? Oh, it's a good thing you didn't stick to just music. And you're going to be like, yeah, I knew that the entire fucking time. Thank you.
Exactly. But it doesn't make sense yet, right? It just doesn't make sense until it does. So just got to wait it out. And that's why I don't like let anyone influence like what I do for the most part.
One of my favorite songs ever made is called The Ride by Drake. And he highlights like, yo, he's in the club every single Tuesday, right? He's like, yo, I come out every night to let the city see right? Because it's like, yo, he believed he was that guy. And at the time, you're listening to him talk about this shit and talk that fly cash shit like, yo, I'm the king of Toronto, right? And you sound, bro, you Aubrey Graham, you sound like the, you know what I'm saying? You just did Degrassi. What makes you the king of Toronto, right? What makes that even a thing? And you sound fucking crazy. And now look at what that collective, look at what that person has like built out of their thing, right?
Exactly.
But every single person clowned him probably for being like, oh, you the crazy like.
Exactly. And probably a similar things happened to me. And I told you this outside, but like the only reason I'm doing this, obviously, I'm a huge fan of what you're doing right now. I've been watching most of the episodes, but like the ability for you to put a mic in front of me and me putting pen to paper and telling you that like I'm gonna watch this one day and I'm gonna clip what I'm saying right now and put it part of a reel or something and just show that what I'm saying right now like will happen. That's the reason why I'm kind of here right now. You know?
No, absolutely, bro. And I hope and I think that everybody who comes on hopefully gets that too, right? Because I want that, right?
Yeah.
I want Jake in like 2-3 years to be the biggest thing in the world and be able to look back at like, yo, I said that, right? And not because he already know that, but then to be able to show y'all, yo, I still said that, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Like I always said that. Like there's so many like Hove bars, right, that he like talks about and he like brings back from like now interviews. And he's just all like, yo, look, I've been said that. I gave you all the game. Every single step of my career, I gave you all the game, only if you were listening. But now I'm just going to show y'all, right? Because now I did it too, and I'm going to show y'all.
Yeah. And I know how it sounds. Like, I'm a pretty self-aware guy, so I know from the outside, it's like someone's probably thinking like this dude who sings in public has so, like, okay, I actually have no ego. I would like to think that I need to have an ego because I'm not as self-confident as I should be. But I feel like I know how it looks like from the outside where people might not like, where like I'm coming off as like pompous or I'm like, yo, this manifestation is going to work out for me. Look what happens. But like, I'm actually like not like that at all, you know?
Yo, I think that's something that gets misconstrued a lot. I think like when we talk about like there's a difference between having an ego and then having confidence in your vision, right? Like that's where I like draw the line. Like I'm not saying all of this cash shit or talking all this cash shit because of some sort of like ego or like yo, I'm just better than everybody, right? I just have such a confident vision that I just know like I'm gonna just do whatever the fuck it takes, right? Because like I've married myself to that vision for better or worse, right? Like y'all just not gonna like take it. Like I've already had to like really do things to even keep this shit going, right? Like people don't see that, right? People don't realize the amount of sacrifices I have for my dream. We were talking about it outside, right? People don't realize like you carrying a full-time job and you still doing this. You know the sacrifices that takes to fulfill your dream?
I'm wearing these khaki pants. You can't see. Like I just changed. Okay, chill out. My shoes are like, no, that is the weather was nasty outside. But I literally changed from my business casual into like this nice shirt that I got. But like, it is a grind, man. It is a grind, and you could relate. It's like waking up at 6 o'clock, working 8-9 hours, and then like going back into your studio or editing videos with like, and people questioning like, why are you on the laptop all the time? Why are you doing this? Like, why don't you just hang out with us? I used to go to my friend. Literally, I would be at my friend's place editing my videos. Like, people don't get it. Like, I want to do this. Like more than you get it, or more than you
have like, any idea. Y'all just see the fun. Like I got to sit up here, talk my cash shit, and y'all got to listen, right? I get to talk shit, y'all got to listen, right? But people don't really realize, like, yo, I'm spending like somewhere in the 4 figures to keep this shit going every month.
Yeah.
You know what that means? Less vacations for me, right? Like I'm not, bro. Exactly. Nobody funding this. I'm not rich.
Exactly.
I'm taking every ounce of my time, my money to make this thing happen, right? Like that's what y'all don't see. Like when I'm spending on this, you know what that means, right? Sacrificing dinner, sacrificing days, sacrificing vacations. Nobody gets that, right? It's like, oh, like y'all just think this is fun, right? Like y'all get to see Shake perform at Times Square. But how many hours, how many days, how many weeks gets this, like, do I have to go hustle just to get that one bit of something that's not even the thing? Exactly.
And it's just for, I mean, and that Times Square moment is for some people, it's just a reel. It's 20 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So it has no value for, you know, some of these people. So, I mean, for the most part, they won't get it. And like I promise myself, like if I'm 35, man, and I still haven't made where I want to be, it's fine. Like I'll come to the hangouts more often, you know? But right now it's especially in the entertainment industry, like you got to maximize your potential of being a youngin' trying to make it. If I don't make it by 35, 38, then I'll slow all this stuff down. I don't want to say 38, man. I'm trying to make it in the next 3 years, bro. But like,
who knows? Who knows, right? Like that's the thing that I've also kind of unmarried to a degree, right? Because like I think I'm like a little bit older than you, right? Because I used to think that about the current age that I'm at. I used to tell myself like if I'm not XYZ by 27, like I'll just like you know sacrifice the life, right? Yeah. But now I'm 27. And I'm like, oh no.
This just started for you.
I'm still choosing to do this at 27, right? So clearly that wasn't the thing that I wanted, right? Because like and we think about that at a time, right? Like, of course, you're now saying 35, but being at the age that you are, right? But I'm sure even if you reach a certain level at 35, you might still be like, you know, there's a little bit more. Absolutely. Right? Because there's always a little bit more, right? Like it really depends on when you want to stop your dream, right? Because if you want to continue to go further, you're gonna continue to go further, right?
It always comes back to like the foundational purpose of your life. I'll take a break for a month, but I'll be like, I'm always coming back to this because like I want to entertain people. It doesn't matter how. Like I've been doing a couple weddings recently and like performances, and what I've been doing now is like incorporating like some stand-up within my performances, like singing, like having bits of me singing like funny like funny pieces and stuff like that. Because that's what sets me apart from like a normal performer who's just going to be like, okay, play the next song. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to entertain people completely. So I'm learning every single day as well. So yeah, man.
I think that's like a super important thing to highlight, right? Back to like, like everything, because back to doing things that are, again, authentic and true to you, right? Mm-hmm. That's what gives you a product differentiator, right? It is who you are and what you bring to the table, right? Like that's like, I think back to all these things that I've been heated. Y'all could tell I came in heated today. Yeah. That's like, again, the problem with like all these like podcasters, right? Is because like you're referencing back the same reference questions because y'all don't really like, you're not really bringing yourself to this. I would tell most podcasters, right? Yo, ditch the fucking script, right? Like stop going, like ditch the script. Bring your personality because that has a better thing of shining than, like let's just ask the same fucking formulaic questions, right? Like, because again, you want to bring you to the table. That's what you're bringing to this the outside, right? Who you are, right? And like, I don't think that people have like a real grasp of that because they want to be able to look at somebody and be like, oh, I'll just do this. I'll just track this. Like when we talk about like, why are even cover singers on TikTok a thing? It's because somebody popped doing it and then everybody tried to do the same exact motion of that.
100%.
But you got to bring something unique to the table.
When I was in college, bro, I literally told my buddy, I was like, yo, take the camera. Watch this. My video is going viral. I recorded a cover. I went outside on College Ave at Rutgers and I was like, just take a video of me and I'm going to lip sync the song and I'm going to pretend like I'm an actor and I'm going to lip sync it and it's going to go viral because some dude in the past did it. Like, I don't like, okay. Like Arjun was like a big person who like made his own remixes and then like popped off by, I don't know, like doing his own thing off of like songs that had already been made. So I was like, okay, watch this. I'm going to do it. That's not how this shit works. Like, you can't
somebody already did
it. Yeah.
Somebody already did it. Like, what are you bringing to the table, right? Like, you have to be bringing something unique, whether as a voice, whether as like your music, whether as an entertainer. Like, you have to bring something different, right? Like, the reason that like all these like, for example, let's use comedy as the example, right? Like, why are some of them just like who they are? It's because they haven't added anything to the uniqueness of comedy. There's only so many funny things in the world, but what makes each iteration funny is that person's personality and that person's take on it, right? 100%. Same thing with like music. Every love song has been made, but what are you adding different to it, right? Like, what are you bringing that's gonna put some extra sauce on this?
And you know what's funny, man? Like, I don't feel like wasting my music at this point in my life. Like, I get it. Like, express yourself, put it out, move on to the next one. But for me, it's like, I feel like I'm ready, bro, to like put out bangers. Like my last song, Terelie, I was like,
fire.
Like, that's my kind of music. Like, like dance hall, Arabic type vibes, club type vibes.
I'm playing that and I'm all like, oh, I could see this going off in a hookah spot, right? I understood the vision completely, right? Like, that's how you know, like, because that's the music that I want, right? So I'm listening to it on repeat on the way here, and I'm like, oh, I need me some pond mint over here while I'm listening to this. Like, yo, but like, absolutely. But so that came out what, a couple months ago now? Yeah,
like 3-4 months ago. But like, that didn't do as well as I wanted to. I wanted it to do. Having said that, like I didn't market it enough, but like I'm not wasting my music on just like I'm not just every time I make a song, it's like to make a banger though.
Bro, real talk. I think that you should go back to that one.
What do you mean?
I think that you should try to repackage and put that back on. I think that is objectively,
it's a hit, right?
I think
it's a dope song.
No,
right?
I'm not even saying this because you on right now, right? Like, I objectively think that shit is a hit. And me and my sister talk about this shit all the time because there's a song that P has. Yo, shout out to P. P has that I'm playing for my sister, and she's like, yo,
which one is it?
Hidia.
Bro, and I could sing like most of PDNY's songs, bro.
Yo, bro. And
I've told him this stuff. I love his music.
Bro, like, and even as I'm listening to Terelie, right? I'm listening and I'm thinking like, yo, all this shit really need is a marketing. Right. Because I think that shit is a hit. Like, I really think so. Like, I'm like listening to it and I'm all like, no. This could be one of those. Like, I enjoyed this more than I hear, I'm not going to say names, but a lot of other people's that have like bigger songs that I do be hearing at the hookah spot, right? So I'm like, why isn't it? Yeah. Bro, it just might not have landed at that time, right? Like, think about it. We see musicians all the time, like bigger musicians that are putting out projects and they heat. Yeah. But the timing or something is off about it and then people go back to it. Us in our current industry and our current ecosystem don't have that luxury, unfortunately, right? But I really think that deserves a repackaging objectively. Like, I really think that one can go.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, man. I would agree with you, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's disheartening to like see something that you work so hard for like not do that well, and then the rebuttal is always like, "It's fine, man. Like, keep going. Go to the next one." So I get it, but it's tough for me to like because I spend so much time on it, bro. It's like I gotta record for at least 2 days. Like I feel like
the video is fire, right? Like, had all the peoples that I would want to see in that type of video, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I see it, but again, like, it might just not have landed. I really think that deserves a repackaging, right? Because I say that about a lot of, like, I agree with like the mentality of, all right, this one didn't go, let's go on to the next one, right? But in the interim, I think that song should continue to be worked, right? Because it's not like, again, of course you're pushing out like your content and stuff, but I think like, yo, work that song. Because I look at a lot of like, yo, I see certain songs of like a lot of our South Asian like fellow like artists that we be seeing, and I'm all like, oh no, this shit is a hit. Like, this shit is a hit, and it probably went for a bit, but this could be even bigger. We just got to work the song. Absolutely. There's songs that happen in the larger like music economy that it takes a while for that hit to develop. Yeah. Like, Bodak Yellow by Cardi was not an overnight hit. Like, that record got worked. That record got worked in the streets for a bit, then it got a video, and then it got worked some further, and then it blew the fuck up, right? Like, we don't really give, and again, it's not just on you, right? Like, we don't have the platforms to even be doing that, right? Like, I wish that there was like a South Asian music-based platform for artists like you that, hey, we see it, let's call it.
Absolutely, man. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, bro, you need like at least one person to believe in you, bro, to like help you take yourself to the next level. And to be honest, for me, man, like I have no guidance. I'm making mistakes in front of everyone, like in front of my parents, in front of like thousands of people on social media and stuff like that. Like, I don't have anyone telling me like, do it this way, do it that way. Like, I'm doing this completely by myself.
You have like a team or anything?
I have a videographer, and I have a buddy who like we make content together. We like come up with ideas and stuff, and we make music.
Bro, and this is something like my therapist said, right? Like, I would get people around you, right? Like, I don't know who like you're hanging with, because like it's hard to do what you're trying to do alone.
I know,
right? Like, it's hard what you're trying to do alone. Like, that doesn't happen, bro. Like, you could go far individually, but like eventually you need to like have a like somewhat of a team to like push you too.
No,
right?
absolutely. And I do have like that team, and I always call them that team. We meet every single week. It's my videographer, Shekhar, and my buddy Pranav, who's also doing the same stuff I do, bro. Like he's the one who got me into the scene in public, and he's like going all in on the music. So shout out them. But like, yeah, that's my team, bro. And I like to keep it small, but we're on the same wavelength, bro. If I'm at Times Square, I'm bringing Pranav with me. You know, he's performing on stage with me. If I have Masala mixtape, I'm putting him on stage with me. Like Shekhar, I'm getting him. Like my videographer, I'm getting him gigs like in New York City. Like that's my team. That's my small team. I want to bring everyone up with me. So yeah, I completely agree with you. But yeah,
I think the bringing it up though, fire, right? But it adds a certain level of responsibility to you, right? When I say like, hey, add a team around you, I'm talking about like people who's are, of course, like your boys are like also pushing you too, right? But who are also coming up. So yo, back to back to back to back to back. Like yo, let's get this up a little bit further, right? A little bit higher. Because like what you're describing is like, yo, it's tough for you to do the music, the content, and then also be the strategy behind all of that, right? Like that's like a tough ask. Like I see that all the time. Like and that's why like, yo, shout out to my friends who don't even get paid, but they just got to deal with my shit. Like I run every decision about this like through like a certain group of people, like always. Cause like I can't see the full thing. Like I can't be on here, be the talent, do the thing, and then also yo like without my producer and business managers, like who's editing this and making sure, who's checking for me to be like, yo, we should do this pod, we should drop this pod, right? Because you need that. Because I can't. It's tough on a full individual to own every step of the process.
You're right, but I think like I kind of hold myself to a certain standard where I'm like I don't. And same with like the interview. I told you like I don't think I've accomplished the stuff that I would want to accomplish in order to be sitting on this chair. Same thing. I don't know if I've accomplished what I want to accomplish to like have a manager. I had a manager last year. Like it was a tricky situation. Like you gotta, you know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, right? But you're not working or building based off of where you currently are. You're working and building based off of where you're going to be. Like you're not gonna get there and then like be the steps. You already got to be operating like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I think that you think like, hey, like, yo, one day, like, all the money, all the attention come in, and then I'm going to figure out these things out, right? To get those things and to be able to handle those things, kind of need those, like, teams in place. Like, I always think about that. Like, I, like, base every decision that I make, and you are, too, to a degree, is what does 5 years from me or 3 years of me of doing this look like? And then I try, basically, every decision I make now is a reflection of that. Like, oh, I need this person on my team. Oh, I need this kind of person on my team. Because in 3 years, like, that's what it's going to take. Like, when I talk to, like, podcasts that are, like, 3 years up, 5 years up, right? I see the team that they already have around. Right. And it's like, oh, like, those guys all played positions on that team. Of course, the positions changed as they grew, but they all played a position because they, like, you need that, right? And I think that's, like, and this isn't just, like, you. I know we're talking about, like, your career. I say that across the board about all of these artists, right? I say, yo, y'all are artists by like nature and heart, right? Again, everybody else, right? Y'all are artists in nature by heart, but y'all don't have the strategy. Some of y'all music is fire, but y'all don't have the strategy around it. Because some of these things should be hits.
Yeah, 100%.
Like should be hits, like objectively should be hits. So then it comes into like, how are we placing this, right? Because think about it, labels have like full teams. You're competing against people who have full teams.
I know.
Like, how are you going to compete with that just by yourself? It's tough.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have the answers yet.
Right? Again, and you'll figure it out. As you go, it'll demand you to figure it out, right? Because it'll be like, okay, like for me to climb that next mountain, it's going to take this. And I'm sure you've even noticed it to a degree. You start off, like, I'm sure you started off your career, just you recording a video. You said it yourself back in high school. You had to add a videographer. You knew that was the next step. 100%. You'll naturally see those as you go too, right? You'll be like, oh, I need to add this piece.
Yeah. It comes with experience and like, diving more into the process, so completely understood. I agree.
And I'm saying all of this because like I really believe in y'all, like from a talent perspective, right? I have no qualms about you doing exactly what you say you're going to do, right? Like you say, hey, I want to be the biggest South Asian entertainer. I know as long as you stay the course and do the things necessary, that is completely within your realms. Because the only people who actually ever get those things are the people who are able to drive a vision and then go execute on that vision. Yeah. And again, it's your vision. You have been executing on it and you will continue to execute on it.
Yeah, man, I'm trying, bro. I'm trying to just I don't know. I'm in a weird place right now creatively, but
Yeah.
we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, bro, and that's a part of the journey. A part of the journey. There's going to be times where, hey, you got to retreat and then reassess.
100%. That's one of these are like one of the moments that could, like, you could be in a creative rut, but this could be a moment in time where like it helps you in terms of like a trajectory towards like a bigger goal, or like something that could be, I don't know, life changing, you know? So like my friend calling me up and being like, yo, what are you doing tomorrow? Let's sing in public. Like, that was a game changer for me. At the end of the day, I got a lot of opportunities because of that. I got brand sponsorships because of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I was introverted. If I said no to that, then I wouldn't even be close to what I'm doing right now. So
some of it is just like, yo, like some of it is being set up for when the opportunity come, right? Because, yo, that call came, you picked up, but you also had the talent, the things behind it to be able to capitalize on that opportunity, right?
Just being ready for that opportunity when it comes your way. 100%. I agree with that, man. I agree with that.
I think like a lot of us look at that, like some of it is like being mentally ready for those things and the pressures that come with it. And like some of it is also like actually having like the business and everything set up to get there. Because I think like when I think about like issues that I've even run in now 2 months into this, I think about like, yo, if I had this opportunity 3 years ago, I would have definitely fucked those up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I can specifically see the moments where I would have fucked it up.
Yeah.
Like I see like, yo, if this happened, if that type of backlash happened to me and I was 3 years ago me, mentally, I would have 1,000% just shut down.
When you say backlash, like what do you mean by that? I
think not backlash, but like, listen, I put this out. People are going to have an opinion.
Yeah.
And you have to be okay with it. I'm sure you've deal with it now.
That's why I was asking you, because like it's so much, bro. Like, I mean, I've learned to like completely ignore it, but it will really like, it's a lot, bro. Like there will be like a lot of comments just like saying whatever, and you just got to be like, whatever. And then once you comment back, I can't tell you how many times, bro. I recently posted me and my boy did like a Chalea remix to it. And it was like our interpretation of it. Me and my boy are like, yo, we're following Rick Rubin. This is we're doing what's most
authentic to me. I want to
us.
Yeah.
My boy's talking about weed and Henny in the Chalea remix. Like, we're being as authentic as possible. It's like, having said that, it was like 50% positive comments, 50% negative comments. But like, the second you decide to like respond to like a hater, I never do it. But like, on the off chance, like I'm having a bad day and I'm just like going through everything, and I'm like, I like put a clown emoji or something on the comment, that person will always DM me, bro, and be like, you got to learn how to like accept hate comments and stuff. You're putting yourself out there. I'm like, I accept it. What are you talking about? Like, there are thousands of hate comments. I accept it. I love it. I encourage it. You're helping my algorithm. I really, really don't care. But if you're spewing hate my way, why can't, and I'm not a hater, and neither have I like been raised like that, but why can't I
respond?
Yeah, like, bro, you're sending hate my way. I want to hate back right at you, bro, for once.
Well, I would say like, yo, you're human, and that's absolutely a valid response, right? Like it's human, right? Like I'm a man, right? Like you say something to me, right? Yeah. Like I may be in the position not to receive it that day. I might have had a bad day, right? But I think from a pragmatic perspective, and I think you understand this, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's never worth it, right? It's like never worth it, right? Because it's like, who are we really trying to convince here, right?
They got the last laugh. Like, they got a DM back from me. Like, that's not that my DM means anything. I'm just saying, like, that's what they probably wanted to get my attention. Yeah, that's what haters do.
Yeah, like you're like feeding to like something that don't really matter, right? Like, you're just like, if I respond to this, like, you wanted a reaction, you feel bad about something because, like, yo, why? Who in the right mind is just like, yo, I want to comment something? Like taking time out of your day to comment is crazy. Taking your time out of your day to comment something negative is even crazier, because it's like, bro, you really felt that strongly about this? And that's what got to make you feel better, because it's like, yo, at least I put something out that made somebody feel something. Yeah. That's what like Shoba a couple weeks or a week ago told me. He was just like, bro, at least they gave a fuck. Enough to spend 5 minutes. Bro, that's so powerful. You took 5 minutes of their day.
Yeah.
5 minutes of the day. You ain't give them 5 minutes as long as you don't respond. You ain't give them 5 minutes. You did exactly what you wanted to do today. You hung out with your people. You did whatever you wanted to do today. He got to completely affected by you.
Crazy. Yeah, I mean, back in the day, I released my first single and I got like one hate comment from a dude from Rutgers. Never heard of him. He was like, "This shit's ass." Ruined my whole month. I was like, "Yo, I'm done with this shit. Why am I putting on music?" It's like you kind of get immune to all that stuff, bro. There's so much like my thing is like no offense, but if like a fob from like India is like commenting, I'm totally cool with it, right? Like
Yeah.
But if someone like over here like is like self-aware and saying that shit, it's like, man, it's like you should get on your grind too, like. You know
but that's usually the people who are commenting, right? Because it's never somebody like I've never ever heard of somebody who also doing something ever looking at like my shit and be like, oh, like whatever, right? Maybe if they do, it's like pure hate, right? Yeah. But it's usually from a place of like, yo, their own life, they're not happy with what they doing, so they, yo, like let me come at you, right? Because anybody who's like really doing anything, like we said, we don't have time for that shit. I don't have time to go shit on your pod,
all, bro. Not at all.
Right? Like I don't have time to shit on your pod, right? Like I gotta go build this, so y'all ain't shitting on mine.
There's no time, man. We need extra time. I mean, 24 hours is enough, but I'll be tired, man.
Bro, but that's again like what it takes and like the amount of work ethic that it takes, right? Like if this shit was easy,
I can't tell you how many times I'm editing on my dining table after work, and my mom will be like, "You're always in front of the screen. Stop doing this, and I have to be like, you're the one that told me to do my full-time job and then work on my passion right after. So like I'm holding myself accountable to that, and I always have to remind like people around me like this matters to me right now, you know. But whatever, F the haters, bro.
No,
not my mom. I'm just saying the people who comment. So
no, and I think that to like I guess kind of like put a wrap on that conversation, right? Like that shit is only going to get, and that's again part of like learning the steps, right? Because you've dealt with 1,000 hate comments. When this shit blow up and now it's 20,000 hate comments, because here's the thing, it's not like they could just go, there's going to be a point in your career where there stops being haters, right?
Yeah.
Every time a Drake album come out, 50% of the population love it, the other 50%, this shit is ass. It don't matter what he put out. He could have put out fucking Michael Jackson's Thriller over and over again. Somebody's going to hate on that shit.
Yeah.
So you just, again, part of like closing that out. Yo, Sheikh, I do this thing, and we were talking about it outside. So I do this thing at the end of every podcast where I ask my guests to like call their shot. It's like my version of like manifesting, kind of like we were talking about, like, yo, you say something, and then, yo, you go out and make it happen, right? So whatever you feel comfortable sharing next like 3 years, 5 years, 2 years, call a shot, call your shot.
Yeah, so many shots, man. Like I recently, it was 11/11/23, so November 11, 23, and I wrote down a list of stuff that I want to happen in the next couple of years. And acting is one of them, man. Like, so before I started singing, bro, if I told anyone I was going to sing, they would laugh in my face. If I told my mom or dad, they would laugh in my face. If I told my friends, they would laugh in my face. So that's like acting for now. You know what I'm saying? Like if I were to tell anyone I would be an actor, they would laugh in my face.
You're going to act in something.
I will act in something. I will act in something. And yeah, man, that's it, bro. No, I don't want to just say that. No, I don't want to just say I want to act in something. I'm gonna act. And I hope I'm coming off in the most like humble way possible. Like I'm.
Fuck that. Let them talk his shit. Yo, I hate all my guests that come out here mad humble and shit. Like, yo, I be talking their shit for them. Let them talk their shit. Let them cook.
You know why? Because remember we were talking about this outside. If you type in like Shah Rukh Khan first interview, he's not like this over like arrogant person. So if someone's going back to myself, I want to make sure like I come across like very like I get it. I've not achieved anything yet. I'm grateful for where I am, but there's so much more to achieve, and God willing, I will achieve that. So I will be acting in a major motion feature film.
I'm with it.
And or TV show.
I'm with it. And yo, when that happens, I'm gonna hit you. And yo, I say that like
clip this. This.
Of course. And I say that on behalf of all of my guests, right? Because yo, they are these like humble, hardworking people, right? Because I get to see it, right? But I don't want them to ever diminish like, yo, how big that they are going to be and how big that they are, right? Because like that's like something from me to you, right? Like I see y'all and like y'all, because y'all again in build mode, right? Y'all still head in the ground, let me work, right? But I see what y'all for what y'all really can be, right? And that gets me like, yo, talk your shit. Yo, Sheikh.
But another thing is like, I get it sounds crazy, but that's the point. I'm putting pen to paper and it's officially captured on a nice camera now. And that's what we were talking about before. Like it's officially captured So like we're gonna come back to this if it ever happens, and like that's the significance of this. Not to show off or be like, yo, I'm better than you and watch what I'm gonna do. Like I'm too good for this. I'm gonna be like, it's not about that. It's like, for me at least, it's just about putting pen to paper so that one day I get to come back to this moment. And like for real, I appreciate you letting me like speak my truth and my dreams.
Nah, bro, absolutely appreciate you doing this, right? And like, yo, like we documenting like real history here because for me, it's like I think like people really shit on people for having dreams, right? But I think it's the flyest shit in the world to dream and dream loudly, right? To dream and be like, yo, like I want this thing. Because so many of us, like we have dreams, and then at a young age, people stamp that out of us. And like that's why like I talk shit on behalf of everybody up here, right? Because I want y'all to continue dreaming, right?
Yeah.
Because like that's like what it takes, right? It takes a dream, it takes a vision, and then it takes the work. But it starts with a dream. Yo, Sheikh, appreciate you doing this. And
Thank you, brother.
Thank y'all for listening. Peace.